Alright.
Yeah.
Welcome to the After Dark live stream.
That's why. Did you shoot it? No. Not in your heart? Cool. Why should I believe any of that? Help me understand.
Because I had a full-time job,
My friend,
and I can get my gun like.
I've known people who had $1 million a year salary. So
don't
shot
have a feather. Don't have a feather. I have a gun like.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. I mean, guns are very responsible. You know, it takes a lot of responsibility for all the firearms. So we can use a firearm to carry it. And it's not a, it is a right to have a firearm, but it is a privilege to have a firearm as well. Is that true? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a very awesome force to have a firearm.
The detectives are starting to get irritated with all the mind games Jordan is playing with them, so they decide to turn up the heat and get a little more aggressive.
Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Because look, we all got time, we all got places to be, we all got things to do. Okay? Jordan, understand this. This is your opportunity to tell us exactly what happened. To tell us your side of the story, to say exactly what happened. Not the, man, I was looking around, and I don't know what happened, man. I heard gunshots and I ran. Bullshit. I'm going to look right at you in your eye and I'm going to say that. Okay? I'm sure it has, but not 100%.
That happened before.
You are an unlucky man. You are an unlucky man if that's happened to you. You should thank your lucky stars that you haven't been killed if that's happened to you in the past. Because bullets don't have names on them. So do I.
Do you really, Jordan? With everything they told me, you really believe in God? And then you're going to sit in here and tell me this story as it is. Have you been identified as a shooter?
I've been identified as a shooter.
Yeah, I just straight up told you that.
By who?
And you're going to, bro, you're going to sit here and lie to me and you expect me to share shit with you? That doesn't work that way.
I've been identified as a shooter.
I just told you this, and you're going to preach God to us in here like you're holier than everything, bro. Like you're holier than everything. You're going to sit in here for that and tell us that when we give you an opportunity to tell us what happened in a side of everything, and you're going to sit in here and treat us like we're dumbasses, okay? It just doesn't work for me, buddy. It doesn't work for me at all when we sit in here and we give you opportunities to tell us what happened and the explanation of what happened. Because you know what? You may not be a bad guy.
If I've been identified as a shooter,
You may not be a bad guy. Because you know what? There may be an explanation as to things that occur. Somebody may not be telling you the truth. I don't know that. That's why I sit in here with you and I try and get the truth out of it. And I try and get the explanation. But you've given me nothing. You've given me not one little bit of the true story that happened. And you know why? Because I already have all the evidence that shows that you're not telling me the truth on it. Just the explanation is all he asked for. This man has sat here and poured out everything to you and tried to be honest with you and help you out and do everything he can, and you try and throw out the godly thing to him, man.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do, bro, but don't play the godly thing. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It is. This is one of those things. Well, you know what? Well, but you're invoking the name of you're invoking the name of God, though. When
I sat in jail for a
I don't
year.
really care where you sat for a year.
God got me at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, he did.
You know, hopefully God will smile on this one too. But it's not looking too good. So this is your opportunity to come to terms with God.
I didn't do any shootings.
I
did not do no shooting.
Then what'd you do?
I didn't do any shooting.
What did you do?
You're not going to sit here in my face and tell me I shot.
Then what did you do? What happened? Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened.
I told you. I just told you.
Well, who was there?
Man, you can't do that.
Who was there?
You can't do that.
Why can't I do that?
Y'all both just got mad at me. Why y'all both just got
My
mad
friends,
at
let
me?
me tell you something. This is business. I'm not mad at you. I'm going to go home and not think about you.
Okay? Be sweet.
Understand?
You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, man. Like, shit, this man was just...
That's part of life. That's part of life. You're a grown man. You're an adult, my friend. Look at me when I talk to you. You're an adult. Take responsibility for your action. Take responsibility for what happened tonight. Let me go tell the people who are dead tonight over what happened out there. I told you before I would do it for you. I would do it to your loved one. Who do you love the most in this world? Besides yourself, who is the one you love the most in this world? Who is the one that you love the most in this world? Yes, there is. There are people dead in this that you know answers for. Who is dead, bro? There is a girl who is dead. Do you understand that? Someone's life is gone. They're not coming back. Jordan, she has 2 small children. 2. That they're never going to see their mother again. They're never going to see their mother again. How would you feel knowing that you couldn't see your mother ever again? I got to go talk to those little babies right now, 2 and 3 years old. That's what I got to do. So give me an explanation. Tell me what happened. Bullshit. Bullshit. Then what happened? Because you're leaving out a clear gap in this story. There's a gap, Jordan. You know it, and I know it. Yeah, she's dead. And I'm not bullshitting you. She's got 2 small children who are never, ever going to see their mother again. She was a good woman. She didn't deserve that. She did not deserve that.
Sir,
And there's somebody else on life support.
you said she did deserve it. I did not say she deserved it.
So then what happened?
Somebody on life support?
Yeah. So there might be 2. There might be 2. Yeah, but when that person pulls through, what are they going to do? Because they might. They're on life support right now, but they're at KvKGsG, one of the best hospitals in the country. Doesn't matter what his skin color is. He's shot. That's what he is. I don't play the race game. I don't play any of that bullshit. It doesn't matter. Black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. They're a victim. It's a victim. Someone who, all accounts, didn't do anything wrong. But you were there. If they did do something wrong, then now, and only now, is the opportunity for you to say what happened. If you don't, then that's on you, brother. That's on you. It's never going to... Look, again, like I told you, at the end of the day, I'm going home. Okay? I'm going home, and I'm probably not going to think about this again.
I'm going home too, because I didn't do any shooting you.
Okay, then who did? You tell me that. Who did? Who did it? Huh? Who did it? You can't even say it, can you? Because you did it. That's why. Yeah, you. You're the one. You put that... No, I don't. I got you just right. I got you just right. Nope.
Why do you say I did it?
Because there is
makes you
evidence,
believe that I did
there is
it?
evidence to show that you did. Okay? I'm not going to put the cards on the table for you, my friend. I'm not going to do it. Okay? No, it's not. It's called life. Really. Well, life is... Understand that life is very dumb. There's, you know what's dumb? You know what's dumb? I'm not saying that at all right now. I want your statement. That's what I want.
You're telling them to kill people, though.
It doesn't matter. Some people have killed people and gotten away with it before.
Because maybe there's an explanation. Like we said, maybe there's an explanation. When I sat in here and I told you that, I wholeheartedly did that. We're past the point of us believing that you shot. Listen, I want you to listen to me. We're past that point.
So that's pretty much thinking I did it or I didn't.
No, listen. That you were there and that you shot. Let me finish, please. Jordan, please let me finish. But maybe, Jordan, maybe there's an explanation. Maybe it's self-defense. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's cold-blooded killing. I don't know. You're the only one that knows that. And that's what we wanted to give you that opportunity, is for you to explain yourself. Explain why it happened. Because remember when we told you there's this...
I'm not
Okay, okay, but remember how we told you that there's two paintings here?
I'm not a killer.
Okay, so then it's an accident. So maybe it's self-defense. I don't know. Tell me, buddy. Tell me why it happened. I don't know this. I go into rooms all the time and talk to people, And when I leave out of there, I go, you know what? That story that they just told me, the truth that they just told me, that now makes sense. That explains everything. Everything whatsoever. Everything whatsoever. Because you go in there knowing what you know already, but I can't get that explanation from anyone but you. You're the only one that can give me that explanation. You're the only one that can tell me why it happened. What caused this to happen? Was it somebody that was scaring you? Was it somebody that was running up on you? Was it some other beef that was ongoing? I don't know this. Did someone try and rob you? Whatever it may be, that explanation needs to come out. That's the explanation that needs to come out. Whichever one it is the truth. Okay? Other than, unless it is, other than I'm a cold-blooded killer. I wanted to go down there and shoot some people, and I did. And I don't think that, bro. And I sat with you for 45 minutes. I cold-heartedly don't think you're a cold-blooded killer because I sat there and looked at your eyes. And I've sat in rooms with people that are cold-blooded as could be. Cold-blooded as could be. So then that means that there's an explanation out there that I don't know. That means there's an explanation that I don't know. But the only one that can tell me that is you. Because you know what everybody else is going to do? They're going to look out for themselves. They're going to look out for themselves. Plain and simple. You have to give me that explanation. And only you.
The detective explains that they already know he did it, so now it's just a matter of why. Jordan is hoping that they are bluffing and they don't have any evidence against him, which is why they are pushing so hard for his confession. Right now,
Did you kill him? No, I didn't kill anybody. No, I did not kill anybody. No, I did not. They haven't seen me tell me I did. Then what happened? Because you were there. What happened? Why are you holding it back then? Why would you protect somebody else? Other people? Tell me about it. So don't tell me about it. Don't protect them. Then. I didn't shoot you. I'm going to take that again. You were out there? I didn't do no shooting. No shooting. I didn't shoot nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Help me understand. Help me understand. Who was there? What happened? You're leaving it there? They didn't shoot nobody. They didn't shoot nobody. Who did shoot nobody? Who did? You got it down. I don't know. I don't know. What am I supposed to do if I don't know? I don't sit in here and trying to give you something that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to fiddle. I don't want to talk.
points out that there were 4 people making a rap video. One is dead, and one is in the hospital. So that leaves Jordan and the 4th person as possible suspects. At this point, the detectives decide to bring out another piece of evidence. The man in ICU named Jordan as the shooter.
I know why a person would probably, you know what I mean, why would you want to, because maybe he doesn't want to have one trouble, you know what I'm saying, or maybe he didn't know, maybe he thought it was you, you know what I'm saying, because he probably really didn't know me like that, you know what I mean, that's probably why. I got shot, I would probably say, knowing everybody, not knowing his folks, I can't understand. I can't. So you're saying this person is saying that you can protect their home? You just told me that this guy's probably saying to protect their home. Which in turn would have been almost shot. So the guy that got shot, apparently he's gonna survive. And he's fine. And apparently it's you. But that's okay. It's okay. You continue to say the word. And I'm gonna finish that.
Yep.
Did you see you on the video? Oh my God, look at that's you showing up. I'm sure nobody knows. I know you're running. You're like, oh shit. Oh shit. No. The gunshot went off. What do I say? I'm not going to tell you that, but that's not what you say. Not at all.
You don't talk about gunshots at all.
You're trying to for the car? You need for the car?
No, we need to get out of there.
We can get to Saturday. Hell yeah, let's go. Not really what things said here. So, no, you said you didn't want to hear it, remember? I got it. I got the whole thing. That's me. Here. That's you. There you are right there. That's you hiding in the bushes after that fact while he talks to the police and waits for the police. Why didn't we wait for the police?
Why didn't you wait for the police?
Your buddy did.
You didn't do anything wrong. Why didn't you wait for the police?
Because your buddy waited for us. Strange. Which one is it? Maybe you are. Maybe you're the most cold-blooded killer out here. And you gotta be honest with me. To shoot a little 23-year-old girl, that girl weighs like 105 pounds. I'm a little T-ass. Shoot a girl like that, dude. That's just straight up ridiculous. I mean, you couldn't smack her? You couldn't do anything? You gotta pull out a gun and shoot her? Well, what? I mean, no. There's no man. And I'm gonna tell you that straight up. That's not a man move, bro. You can mean on me and mean on me all you want. But that shit don't bother me. You shot a woman out there and killed her. Yep. I keep saying it. Yes, you.
I shot a woman out there.
Yes, and killed her.
You stop saying that.
No, not at all. I told you, that's what I believe. I believe that the evidence points to you shooting and killing a woman out there. And then shooting a boyfriend after the fact.
No.
I think so.
No.
Yeah, you can yell and that doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't make it wrong, bro. Doesn't make it wrong at all. And somebody else is going to look at that one day and they're going to get a blow. No, I'm just saying they're going to look at that and they're going to go look at this little 23-year-old young, tiny girl out here. And this guy has to pull a gun out and shoot her for no reason. For everything we can understand right now, there was no reason for you to do that. None. There wasn't one bit. They didn't need to die. They didn't need to die. There wasn't a reason. Why did they need to die? Why did they need to die? Why did they have to die? Why did they die? Why did they die? Why did they have to die? A little 23-year-old girl, bro. Not even man enough to handle it any other way than you. Yeah, it wasn't. It's horrible. Well, it's fucked up. She doesn't get to see her kids anymore because you weren't man enough to do anything other than pull a gun out and shoot her. I just said that. Yeah, it is. Then you pulled out a gun and shot her, bro.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Did you mean to shoot her? Did you mean to shoot her? Was it just to scare people? Because, bro, I can understand that. It was dark out there. You probably didn't even realize. You probably didn't realize. It's a mistake. It happens. It happens. That's what we talked about at the very beginning of this, Jordan. That mistake, that, oops, I can't believe this happened. Or are you that person who says, everybody, I don't care about anybody. I'm going to get mine, and that's it. And anyone who gets in my way, I'll kill them too. Or if they're not on my page, then they're going to die. Who are you? Which one?
Little brother.
It doesn't matter who you got.
And you know what I'm saying? I got a big family. You know what I'm saying? Right.
You just told me a few minutes ago that the only person you cared about was yourself. Foolish. Well, you said, who do I love the most? I said, me. Yeah, that's selfish. You don't care about anybody but yourself. Oh, but you said, who I love the most? That's me. I love myself. What are you talking about?
shot at.
Shot. You don't know how
No.
to do it.
Hi.
That 23
Hey, how's it going, Hazard?
Yeah. She doesn't get to do that. That you're a cold-blooded killer?
Not just getting shot. I can say a lot more. But
There's plenty of people who get shot and don't do it.
Alright,
it's just something you ain't experienced, though.
It doesn't matter, because I talk to people like you, and I talk to people like her family every day. I live with it. Death. All the time. I've seen more dead people in this world than you'll ever see. Okay? Don't talk to me about like that. You will lose that argument. I can guarantee you. Every day I deliver bad news. And I want you to know, I want to drive the point home to you. Okay? You got a lot of living. You want to leave it outside or inside? What you want to do?
He shot and murdered her, and she laid there and bled out. Yeah, she laid there and bled out. Oh, I really, you ran off like a little girl. No, I did not. I ran off like a little girl, bro. And I was really fucking. No, I'm sorry. You shot her boyfriend first, and then you ran off. The problem is you didn't kill him. That's where your mistake was. That's where your mistake was. You probably should have killed him. And then when you were looking for your other buddy to kill him, you probably should have found him and killed him too. Because you left witnesses. There's your issue. There's your problem.
You had the opportunity and you didn't do it.
Okay. Okay.
You don't want to get a witness. There's a lot of witnesses.
Okay. Go with that story. I got it.
Act like a grown man. I don't think anyone's ever told you that in this world. Well, I'm telling you today, you got to act like a man. You got to take it. And that's it. Okay? Roll your eyes like that, yeah, okay. Listen, my friend, here's how it's going to be. Simple as that. I'm not going to treat you like the baby that you want to be treated. I'm going to treat you like an adult, like a man. Okay? No, you've been talking like a little, like a schoolboy who knows he's being caught.
Damn, he said you been talking like a schoolboy.
He's talking like a fucking schoolboy.
Children do. That's what children do. You have a mind
He
of a
said,
12-year-old boy. That's what you have. I don't know where it is that you didn't grow up or you didn't act right, but understand this, young man. You're a man. Start acting like it.
No. Can I say something?
About what? What you want to say?
I didn't do it.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Jordan, is that what you're going to say when
I didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
Steal.
Jordan,
I didn't do it.
Oh, shut up,
that
bitch.
is perfectly fine with me. You can say that all you want. That is fine. You'll hang your head on that one.
I didn't do it.
Okay? You're going to hang your head on that one. I didn't do it. The camera was recording the entire time. I have it.
What?
The camera
Okay.
was recording the entire time. Everything. Okay? So now, it's not a question of, I don't know. Because I can see everyone who's involved, who's there, including you. I can see. And I know that you are the one who killed that girl.
I did not kill that girl.
Listen to me.
I did not
It
kill
is
that
not
girl.
up for debate at this point.
I did not kill that girl, sir.
Okay? Well, the problem with that is the video says otherwise.
And you can't
Okay? The video says otherwise. And a matter of fact, not only does it say that, it also, as after she takes that fatal shot and she's dying and I can hear her death throes, those death throes. I don't know if you heard it or not when you did it, but you can understand. Listen to me. Hold on. No. Listen to me.
I did not kill no girl.
Okay, well, again, the video proves otherwise.
I did
What
not
I'm
kill
telling
no
you
girl.
right now is this. It's on video. After she has her death throes, that gurgling, that moan of death is so unmistakable.
Oh, yeah,
On
I've heard it.
video. After that, when y'all run back up the hill towards the car,
You and Giovanni.
you and Charles there. Yeah, you and the producer.
Going
We go run
for
up that
a
hill.
walk.
After that, when that guy's like, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? And you say, I don't know. Yep. What? Because it's your voice. Okay, and then to top it all off, after this man is pleading with you, what did you do, bro? What did you do? You know what happens after that? You fucking shoot the other guy. Oh yeah. No, I do not. That's what you do. Okay. So listen, at this point now, no, I do not, sir. At this point now, this is the only conundrum I have at this point. Is it first or is it second?
Alright, they're in bed.
Degree of murder. Did you intend to do it?
I didn't kill nobody.
Okay, well,
I did not kill anybody.
go with that story. I don't think it will do well for you against video, but go with that. No, it's not. I just spent the last hour watching every bit of the video going.
Can I watch it?
You will at some point when you go to court.
When you get discovery, you will see it, and you will see how screwed you are.
There was 10 of us in there like this. Oh my God.
I can't believe this guy. What did he do? What did this kid do? No, he threw his life away.
Kill no girl, sir.
Well, here's the thing. It's up to you at this point. You can tell us what happened. You can tell us. You can give us a story. It's a clean slate for you at this point. If you're going to stick with the I didn't
Who the
kill
hell
anybody,
is he?
that's fine too. This is your time. I'm not wasting any more time with you. It is up to you now because I've already given you so many chances to tell us what happened. There's no messed up about it. What's messed up is that girl is dead. And you pulled the trigger. I did not.
Damn.
The trigger. Okay, that's fine. I did not. I'm charging you.
Yo, they pressing the hell out of his ass.
Attempted first-degree murder.
Ooh, you going to jail, boy.
For the Cox and for the attempted murder.
Alright, where are you going?
No,
Holland
I did not kill no.
10 KvK.
I did not shoot nobody.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
I'm done with you.
What's going on, Ben?
Let's go. You're gonna go to booking. Let's go. Stand up. Stand up. Let's go. Are you? Yeah, buddy.
Jordan would never confess to being the shooter. After the interrogation ends, Jordan was charged with second-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Prosecution offered him a plea deal of 25 years if he pled guilty, but Jordan decided to take the case to trial. With more than
He lost that.
to them, the jury found Jordan guilty and he was sentenced to 40 years
You
in prison.
dumbass.
Thoughts on this
Not
case?
much.
Why did Jordan randomly
Fortnite/Warzone.
decide to shoot two people?
Okay.
Share your thoughts in the comments
You been playing a lot of that? I've been playing a lot of obscure games like this one.
Bada bing, bada boom.
They called it the Death House.
The
There were
Death
rumors
House.
that the owner of this Death House would kill anyone for you.
Dang.
For a price, as long as you're willing to pay it, he's gonna do it. And the guarantee here is nobody's ever gonna
Sowing
get caught. Not
potato
you as a
plants.
buyer,
Alright.
definitely not him. So you need to
Alright, you need to
He's your
hurry
kind of
up.
guy. You need someone to be held
Let's
hostage and tortured.
see.
You call this man.
39%
You want to
grown.
invite people over to a random house and throw a party? Bring them in. They can come meet his dogs. Whispers said his dogs were terrifying. They would be trapped in their little cages, but even then you just never wanted to get too close. You know when something just feels a little bit unstable and it feels a little bit unsafe, your eyes keep going for the cage locks to make sure they're not going to get out, right? Like they're not, these are bolted, correct? The dog's teeth would be showing and they would just be growling at you. Their cages
What?
would be shaking from the growling. It seemed like these dogs, they only listened to this man. They were trained by this man.
Well,
And
yeah.
in return, he fed them well. 2 men had gone to the death house and made it out with their lives. And they just had the craziest story to tell the police. They said, we saw him. We saw the owner of the death house. He's real, and he's a hitman. We saw him walk over to the dog cages with this big black plastic
Alright.
bag, and it just looked heavy. He was dragging it on the dirt floor, and he said, oh, it's the dog food. So we're like, yeah, that makes sense. He opens up his bag, and he's like, sit.
Okay.
Reaches in, pulls out a piece of meat,
Yeah.
throws it into the cage,
What?
and these 2 men saw, laying on the floor of the dog cages, was the small, severed hand of a woman.
What?
The 2 told the police the death house owner didn't even know that woman, but we did. They said they knew who exactly that hand belonged to.
What?
She was a young woman who had gone viral recently. Everyone in the nation was talking about her.
What?
She went viral for exposing a famous professional soccer player in Brazil.
Whoa.
She told reporters, verbatim, if something happens to me, it was him. He did it. week, Diane's husband ran in through the door, and she's immediately alarmed. She was not expecting him to be home anytime soon. So Diane's husband, he's a bit of a wealthier man. He's got a very jam-packed schedule. He wasn't actually even supposed to be in this city, on this property, at this point. He usually stayed in his other home when he was working. And he's crying as he's running in through the door. And she's like, what's going on?
Cannot work
He's
on
telling
it.
her while he's trying to catch his breath that there's hitman after me, and they're probably going to come after you and the kids too because of your association with me, so you gotta go. Diane and the kids, they had to hurry. They had to pack their bags, get the kids from school, and run. Otherwise, it was going to be too late. Fernanda's boyfriend was also acting strange that week. It was more intuition than anything. I mean, technically, if she pointed it out, he would tell her, you're just being crazy, babe. You're overthinking it.
We need to find some
But she just
steel.
knew something's off. He's normally the type to just, thrive at these types of parties. I mean, a couple is practically doing it in the pool. There's girls in these tiny little bikinis walking around everywhere, and every 5 seconds, they would call his name and giggle and wave at him. Even when Fernando was there witnessing this, he would normally eat it up. Like, this was his time. But this weekend, he just seems slightly on edge. His eyes keep scanning the property, just left, right. He's watching everyone. He doesn't focus on all the girls that are half naked making eye contact with him. It's like he's a guard dog for his own home. Anytime someone tried to go into the main house to use the restroom, he would freak out. He would bark at them, hey, don't go in there. You're not allowed in there. Fernanda was confused. And she thought, I just need to get into that house. Then I can see what's making him act so weird. Aliza, a single mom, stared at the man in front of her, and he's shoving her phone in her face. Call them. Tell them that you're doing okay. She snatches the phone out of his hand, and she dials her friend, and her hand is shaking as the dial tone is ringing. Her friend's voice comes on the other line. Hey, yeah, sorry for not picking up.
Mario, now we gotta get the steel going.
Everything's going great. Don't worry about it. Everything in Elisa's body is telling her to scream the truth. No, everything is not okay. They're beating me. They keep threatening me. I don't know when they're going to let me go. But this man was watching her like a hawk. All she could do was hope that her friend could hear the truth in her voice, that something's not right. By the end of the week, one of these women would be dead. Another would be an accomplice in her murder. And the other one would be left with a child that was not her own. Isn't there a reason it's called the Death House? We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the National Network to End Domestic Violence. They are dedicated to creating social, political, and economic environments in which partner-related, workplace, and stalking violence no longer exist. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team of dedicated researchers and translators. And we would also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates of these causes. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. Wonderful Portuguese-speaking the data for this case, which included poring over documents, articles, going through books, documentaries, and providing the social and cultural context that was necessary for me to better understand this case. But as always, with really any case, but especially the international ones, please let us know if there was anything lost in translation, miscommunicated, or if there's any additional information that you have down in the comments. And before we get started, a quick disclaimer. There was a trial for this case, so technically it's considered solved. There were people charged, convicted, and sentenced, but some of the perpetrators involved are stating, hey, that's not what happened. And they all kind of have their own stories for the series of events, but it's questionable if it's even the truth or if that's just what serves their best interest. But just keep this in mind. The event shared in today's episode is based off of what the police believe happened from their piecing together of witness statements, CCTV footage, hotel receipts, cell phone data. But, I wasn't there. I cannot say with 100% certainty that this is exactly how it all happened. There are also a ton of rumors and biases surrounding this case, and since this is high profile, there's pro athletes at the center of it. We did our absolute best to keep the information as objective as possible, but let us know if you feel differently. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. November 24th, 2023, a video was posted on YouTube by a woman named Rosie Aventura. Now, Rosie was going to explore this abandoned house. Supposedly, the house is haunted. I mean, it was left to run. The walls are peeling. The windows are now on the ground. There's just glass shards everywhere. And on some of the walls that are peeling, there's these little red droplets. They look like blood splatter. The story is, 2 people died in that house, and now it's filled with spirits. That's why Rosie was going to go investigate. Rosie went with her son, and she just wanted to talk to any lingering spirits that wanted to share their messages through her with the world. She's a paranormal investigator, a medium, which, you know how I feel about that, especially when it comes to crime, but I digress. She walks into the house, and her son is holding the camera, pointing it at her. And she's holding what they call a spirit box in her hand. It's basically a radio that automatically switches through all of the channels simultaneously. So you're just hearing different levels of static, just switching back and forth, like right? So if someone, past or living, is trying to talk to you through one of these stations, you'll hopefully catch it. She's standing in the house, and the radio is switching nonstop through the different stations, just ringing static out of the device. And Rosie asks out loud, to nobody in particular, "I'm here to help. You sent the signal to me. Do you want help?" The white noise starts getting louder, and you can barely hear the word seem. That means yes in Portuguese. Rosie continues asking other questions, but the answers, I guess if you think you can hear them, they're all pretty vague. And then she asks, "Can you tell me your name?" And she glances around. There's more static noise, and then a faint noise comes out. Eliza.
Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Did it sound like that?
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Beleza. Beleza.
Now, American companies will fly to Brazil to shoot these adult videos. Quick disclaimer, I think it goes without saying, nothing is wrong with sex work or choosing to do adult entertainment as long as it's consensual, as long as
still
it's
working
safe and of age, of
at
course.
the same place or somewhere new? I imagine somewhere new. You always working somewhere better every time I talk to you.
With high levels of professionalism. But I will say, because of social stigma, because of the shame centered around industries like this, predators, they just easily slip in, find their greedy hands to make it a very dangerous industry, especially in Brazil, where international companies have come to take advantage of Brazilian women. American adult companies will fly to Brazil and produce videos there. There are a lot stricter rules in the US when you're producing these types of adult entertainment videos. So a lot of companies, they think it's just cheaper to book tickets to Rio de Janeiro, for example, and try to avoid as much of that legal red tape as possible. Oftentimes they will go and exploit Brazilian workers because their rates just sometimes are not as high as they would be charging in the United States. A few Brazilian adult actresses, they were asked,
they are paying
"Hey, what is the worst part about your job?"
an hour.
And they stated,
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, do your thing, bro.
She had it so bad.
I know your ass stay busy, man. Just got mad respect for that shit. My ass is getting old now.
But this actor just starts pummeling her in the face without even removing some of his, like, hefty rings. I mean, he got so, quote, carried away that the video could not even be posted because it's just basically assault. It couldn't even be sold as a special interest video for those who might have that type of interest because it's, again, just straight up assault.
Oh, he fixed the door. Nice.
Lawsuits because they stated, even when they told the producers that they were experiencing...
Okay, so we got a stone cut table now.
Yes, sir. I know that's why I'm pushing while you still can keeps me out of trouble.
Hey, I can't blame you, bro. Keep your ass out of that trouble, because they out here looking for anything and everything.
This seems to be a universal problem in the adult industry, so it's not just Brazil, and it seems to be getting better in all countries.
Relaxing socially. I'm going for a walk. Man. No.
I can't say for certain that it is even today anywhere in this world, but just some clarification. Shaming the industry, not shaming the performers. seem like Eliza had a very strong
I don't know what the fuck thing it does.
actress. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been her very first choice. Some people might say, well, everything's a choice. She chose to make money using her body. But the minute that Eliza turned 18, she got on a bus 25 hours, basically fled her hometown. It was likely the only job that she could get that would hire her, so she made the best choice that was the best for her survival at the time. We don't know with 1,000% certainty why Eliza was so desperate to leave.
I don't know.
But there is an allegation. Eliza's mother alleged that Luis, Eliza's dad, would essay Eliza and even loan Eliza out to his friends.
How's Bree and the
There was no
doggos?
trial.
You know what I mean? I'm doing fine, man. Ain't nothing, man. I'm doing my gaming. You know what I'm saying? I just got over a sickness, though. And the old lady just caught it, so she been sick. She been doing good. And the dolls are, you know, just aging gracefully, man. Yeah, the biggest thing is my thumb healed up pretty nice, so I'm still able to use it.
Our researchers found
Yes, it's still fucked up looking, but
at the time and would be invited
artistic 10, but man, really nothing special. I've been trying to keep it simple these days. Keep it super duper simple. And I don't really even hang out with anybody. I just help my family run the business and my gaming, and now I'm about to go 100% on my gaming this year, so I'm excited.
Super simple, I like it. Bro, that's the way.
I love soccer. I like everything.
I mean,
I live every
you heard I got my thumb ripped off, so they had to put it back on.
But I'm always alone. Eliza's friends describe her
And you knew all that, right? And I had to learn how to game again and all that. I can't remember who I told and who I didn't tell, but
paternal in a way. Side note, Eliza was an avid soccer fan. Like, her bio is downplaying it. She was obsessed with soccer. She played as a goalie for 10 years of her childhood. It was one of her
I mean, I don't want to sound like that, but alright, it was still connected. Well, it was shattered. The bone itself was shattered into like I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 pieces, but it was broken right at the you know where the cuticle meets the nail. And the canine of the dog, the canine went through. My dog bit me, and when it did, my thumb came disattached. It ripped out all the tendon, the bone, shattered it, and it landed like my thumb was laying beside my wrist. So I mean, it wasn't ripped off, but it was hanging. And I had to relearn how to use it, like completely. So like, I had to learn how to game again. It's been about 2 years now going on. The first year was hard. I don't even like thinking back on it. And during the time that I was healing, I just gamed with my index finger, or I tried. But games like this is, you know, helped me out a lot.
I know where all of them are. So I'm saying, if something happens to me, everyone should know that Bruno didn't. She looked the reporters in the eye and stated, pro soccer player Bruno Fernandez, the goalie for the Flamengo soccer team, had kidnapped her, held her hostage, and tried to kill her. Eliza stated that after the very first meeting at that little party, they met up again and slept with each other twice more. They never made it official or anything, but she thought maybe it's becoming a romantic relationship. That's what it felt like. And now she's pregnant with his child. She told him about her pregnancy when she was 3 months pregnant, thinking, yeah, it's not the best situation. I've only met this.
It's all good, brother man. It's all good. I had like 2 surgeries, and then they put a rod into me, my thumb. The rod went into the tip of the thumb, all the way down into my, all the way down into my hand bone. and then they kept it straight. I had to cast up 2 different times. They casted me. First I had a surgery to put it together, and then the second surgery was to put me to sleep and clean it out and insertate the rods and, you know, pretty much finalize it to get healed. And then, you know, went through the 6 months of whatever. Well, the first 3 months, and then they took the cast off. They said it was healing really good, and they decided to let me go for 3 more months and put another cast on it. And then came back, and then they put my hand between the doctor's legs, and he grabbed my thumb with his hand, and then another doctor came, and they were talking to me, and they grabbed the piece of metal that I had sticking out of my thumb with a pair of pliers, and he twisted left and pulled. That shit hurt so fucking bad, bro. I'm not even gonna trip, bro. That's one of the things I remember about it, like, oh. And of course, you know, when she bit me, bro, like, it fucking hurt bad. But what happened was that my old lady's mom was around, and she opened the door, and she allowed one of these dogs out, and that dog was nursing at the time. So I was in the front yard, and I skipped over 2 fences and jumped over it, and my dog was out, and it got a hold of her through picket fences. So she had a hold of her throat, so I had to disengage her. When I disengaged her, I went to pull, and I had my right hand over her throat, and my dog went to go latch onto her throat, and all she got was my thumb. She crunched down on my thumb and pulled, and when she pulled, she realized she had my hand. She pulled it through the pickets, and then she let go and started squalling like I had shot her, like, bitch, you bit me. But I knew she didn't mean to do it just by the way she reacted. And then she ran down the ramp, and I pulled my hand up, and I was just like shocked because it was hurting so bad. I looked at it, and I was like, oh my fucking god, this is bad. So of course I had to go to the ER, and then I had to go to fucking 2 different fucking hospitals. It was horrible. But yeah, everything's good now though. Yeah, it's been a while now. But that's probably the biggest thing that happened to me. Other things happen, but nothing major.
She goes to court and asks that they honor her request for food support and child support. And it's not a lot. Some sources say that she was just asking for $700 a month, when Bruno was making tens of thousands, if not close to $100,000 every single month. He had a $600,000 base salary from his work on the Flamingos, and probably over $1 million if you consider all the brand ambassadorships that pro athletes get. Others stated that she was asking for 10% of his monthly income, which would have been maybe around $10,000. Which, yeah, okay, it sounds aggressive. It sounds like a lot, right? Some people.
Oh yeah, man, just a bunch of mistakes that accumulated into just a unfortunate event, really. But yeah, everything's good, man. Yeah, I appreciate you asking. We need 50. Where do we get cloth? We're left 167.
October 12th, 2009. Elisa gets a phone call in the middle of the night. It's Bruno.
KvKGsG.
She picks up and he sounds
it's like an emerald.
He's just begging. He's like, you know what? Let's just have a civilized conversation about everything. About, forget going to court. Forget getting the media involved. I think that we can handle it the way it started, just you and me. He sounds like he's throwing in the towel. He sounds like he's over it. Can I come meet you? He's like, no, I want to come right now. He can't wait till morning because he's got soccer practice, so right now. Elisa's staying at her friend's house, and she agrees, okay, I'm going to meet you outside my friend's house, literally right outside for like 2 minutes just to talk, that's it. So she throws on her pink maternity dress, throws on one of those fabric crossbody bags. She's hugging herself in the middle of the night while waiting outside for Bruno's car. It's late. It's 1 in the morning. She's anxious. She's tired. She doesn't know how this conversation's gonna go. And suddenly this car pulls up and she's like, when did this guy get a Porsche? She always remembered Bruno of having a Range Rover. The window rolls down. It's Bruno. And through the light of the dashboard, the entire car just kind of lights up, glowing, everything in the dark. And she looks to the back, and there's a full-grown man just passed out laying down in the back. It's my brother. Get in. Eliza hesitates, but she opens up the door, gets into the car, and they just drive in silence for a few seconds, and then he brakes. Eliza's not sure what's going on. I mean, maybe they're parking to talk in the car, but she looks out the window. In that little side mirror, she sees one of Bruno's assistants, Dirty Henchman's best friend, walking closer to the car. Now she's not feeling good about it. Why would he just happen to be here in the middle of the night? And why is there another man walking with him? Why are there two men walking up to this car right now? The back door opens, and the man from the back that was passed out gets up and makes room for the two other men to get in.
Any of the
So
old
now there's
crew?
3 men in the back.
Not really.
Bruno in the driver's
Here
seat,
and there, I talked to
Eliza in the
Shane.
front passenger.
I talked to him like yesterday, just, you know, for like, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. Bye. And then, you know what I'm saying, here and there, I talk to just different people. They'll come in on the stream, like, you know what I'm saying, be like, yo, what's good? I'm like, what up, man?
The 3 guys in the back.
It's crazy as we, you know, especially certain people got kids, man. They, you know, like, or if they got wives, a lot of people just too busy, man. So it's unfortunate, really. You know, I ran into some people though. I even ran into people from high school the other day from Dollar General. I can't even remember his name.
And she already knows what it is. My Soprostol.
What about you?
She tries to fight them, but they hold her head in place and force her jaws open and shove the pill down her throat with no water. They do it again, and again, and another, and another. Eliza was 5 months pregnant, and she kept begging them. She would stop asking for child support completely. She would just run away and have the baby by herself. She'll move to the other side of Brazil. She'll move to a different country. But they would force open her mouth and shove another pill down her throat. They did this 12 times.
Damn.
The first few pills, Eliza was sobbing, begging for her life, begging for help. But by the last few, I mean, Eliza's eyes were unfocused. She probably didn't even have the energy to cry anymore. She likely felt numb and very drowsy. No matter how tense the situation and how much she wanted to fight it, her eyes were closing. She could not stay awake any longer. The last words that she heard were Bruno spitting in her face. I don't want the baby. You're not gonna have the baby. And then she blacked out, and she was alone. 12 hours later, they threw Eliza out onto the street and told her, you need to go to the hospital to confirm the miscarriage and send proof to Bruno. If not, we're gonna kill you, your family, your friends, we know where they live.
Things changed some, not for.
Eliza did not go to the hospital.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the older we get, how rapid. I mean, it's just so rapid.
We are in the process of starting a new business, which I'm very nervous about, but I have a lot of hopefully incredible ideas that you guys will enjoy. But sometimes I go and I read these books on business, and they're always like, did you know about 90% of startups fail? Or 1 of 10 new businesses don't make it past their first year. And I'm like, okay, that is not very encouraging at all. But there are still ways to give your remarkable business idea stronger chances.
You know, 1 in 10 businesses fail.
E-commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business.
4 years now, dude?
Shop stage to the
Damn, so you're still in the same one. That's what's up, bro.
Shopify's here to help you grow.
That is what's really good, bro. That's not easy to do these days, man. I mean, it's not that it's not easy. It's just not common. Let's put it that way. People just don't have the same ideas as our own parents and people before us.
Shopify has tons of features that will help grow your business to new levels. They can help you customize your page with a variety of unique templates. They can help you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36 better on average compared to other leading e-commerce platforms. So with Shopify, you can finally stop feeling like you're missing out on this AI hype as well. Shopify
Yes,
Magic has been
trying to
kind of like
make
my
it.
AI assistant nowadays.
Social media ruined this generation for instant gratification.
Blog post to product description.
Yeah, it's, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. There's so much beauty inside of so much ugly. And it's so true because, I mean, you can't say that it's not awesome to see all this technology and witnessing, you know, the utilization. And, you know, to the people who don't, you know, take advantage of it, that's, you know, that's on them, bro. It'll be here. But this, you know, at the same token, as much negative as it's brought, like, you know, social media age causing this, that, and the third with all the kids. But you look at, like, what it can do and what it's brought. It's like shit. But, you know, I guess with anything, you can find the negative in it, but you can also find the positive in it. Just like I was thinking about technology with war, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro, you can take a missile now and you can pinpoint that bitch within a fucking quarter inch of a meter, dude. Like, what?
Agreed.
Boom.
Double-edged sword.
Yep, for sure, man.
And a big portion of the law is making it easier for victims to get restraining orders against perpetrators. So that's exactly what Eliza immediately applied for after this kidnapping. A protection order against Bruno. A restraining order. Eliza's female judge denied her request. The judge stated in order for a domestic violence restraining order to be issued under this law, Eliza would have to have a relationship with a violent offender. But since they were not married or in a long-term committed relationship, the law did not apply to her.
What?
Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, at this point, after she had submitted all of her paperwork to the police, reporters found out what was going on. They came to the police station. She files this request for this restraining order. It gets denied, and all of this is now becoming more and more public because when you file legal proceedings like this, it's very easy for them to get out. And the rejection of the restraining order only pushed Eliza to go harder with the press. The police aren't protecting her. The law's not protecting her. I mean, maybe the public could protect her. They did the exact opposite. The public did not protect Eliza. Bruno issued an official statement. He held a press conference, and the soccer player said, "It's not the first time that Eliza has made up lies to try and harm my reputation. Last time she didn't prove anything, and she's not going to prove anything this time either, because she has made this whole story up. That is why I will only be addressing this situation through my lawyer, who will be taking all possible measures to keep her from further hurting my image. She doesn't accept the fact that I don't want any sort of relationship with her. I won't give this female the 15 minutes of fame that she's looking for." Bruno goes on to give his version of the events that night, what he believes is the night of the so-called kidnapping. He said Eliza was blowing up his phone. What's new? She's calling nonstop, begging him to meet up with her. So he gets up in the middle of the night, disturbing his peace. Goes to see her at 1 a.m. out of the kindness of his soul. He shows up and she's immediately screaming her head off, shouting at him in the middle of the residential street. So of course he's trying to calm her down, and you know, at the end of the day, he's a pro athlete. You know, this is scandalous. Why is she screaming at him? He's like, "Hello, you're gonna wake up the residents," which she won't relax. So he has no choice but to take her to his house, where they stay up all night having this long conversation. He thought, okay, good, this is gonna resolve the issue. Eliza fell asleep in his house and left the next morning. Walked straight to the police station and came up with this insane story about how he kidnapped her, drugged her, held her hostage, tried to kill her. He stated that he absolutely didn't do any of that, and he was not the father of her child. He just wanted to get money out of her. He claims that Eliza is lying about sleeping together multiple times. He stated it was just one time, and it was in the middle of an orgy, okay? So, yeah, we did have relations, but she had relations with a ton of men that day. So, maybe she's pregnant, but how are we sure it's mine? He's basically saying she slept with a bunch of men that night, which I don't know where this logic even is, because that's not how conception works. Like, it doesn't just cancel out. But Bruno's teammates and his fans were nodding their heads. What's wild is Bruno is accused of being a kidnapper, a hostage taker, and an attempted murderer, but his teammates were keeping him out of the locker room. They were slapping him with towels and saying, "You ate the same dish as all those other guys, but you're the one that got indigestion." And if Bruno, his teammates, his soccer club wasn't taking this seriously, maybe Elisa was a gold digger. Maybe she was a liar. That's what the public thought. She's an opportunist. She's a status hunter, which means she's free game. People started absolutely ripping into Elisa, digging up her past, what she does for work, calling her all sorts of names, hyper-fixating on the idea that all women want is to get pregnant by a wealthy man and use all their money. Nobody believed her. Elisa needed protection, and instead, she was in even more danger now. She could see the public turning on her. Headlines were shifting from goalie Bruno accused of kidnapping women to salacious, gross titles about what her sinister intentions must be with a stunt like this. Bruno's soccer player mistress's scandalous past careers. It felt like Elisa had a gun to her head, and she's telling everyone, look at me, and nobody's looking at her, nobody's listening to her. They're all standing in the same room as her, talking about her, laughing about her, and no one will see the loaded weapon pointed directly at her. It's like a nightmare. She just wants to scream, "Can someone help me?" But it felt like everyone was just saying to her face, "But you're just a star." They accused her of being one of those girls that just could not wait for a rich man to come around and poke some holes into protection so that she could get pregnant. So Elisa turned around to the police and said, "Drug test me. Please, just test me. You're gonna see those very specific termination pills in my system, a lot of it." The police would run the blood test. The results would take months to come out. They were all positive for those drugs. But by that point, it was too late. Elisa would already be missing. And 4 women's lives, all revolving around Bruno, would just come crashing down. Elisa, the mother of Bruno's child, would be presumed dead. Ingrid, Bruno's fiance, would consider calling off the engagement because he cheated on her and got another woman pregnant, and now she's missing. Diane, Bruno's wife, would be taking care of a child that is not hers. And Fernanda, Bruno's girlfriend, would be in prison for her role in Elisa's disappearance.
Jesus.
Before Bruno was a pro soccer player, Bruno was just a shitty husband. One day after soccer practice, this is he's making 0 money at this stage. He's just training. He's just hanging out with the boys. He's trying to get signed with a club that will hopefully pay him a large fixed salary, but nothing's guaranteed. He comes home from practice and he throws a set of keys down on the table. His young wife, Diane, is like, "What is that?" "Our new car." She looks at him. "What on earth are you talking about? We don't have money for a car." And if you think this is one of those cute moments where he's like, "Babe, it's because I got signed," it's not. She's like, we don't have. "Yeah, we do, honey. We had our savings." He used their family savings that Diane worked her ass off that was supposed to be for their future family. He used it to purchase a car. Diane was so tired. She was so tired of working all day, doing this all day, all night, night shifts, day shifts, nonstop work. She's so tired to even argue right now with this man. So she grabs his hand, drags him into the kitchen, and just opens up the fridge door and waves her hand up and down. Look, we have no food. We have nothing to eat." Bruno looked inside, and there was a half of a bottle of water in there. That's it. Bruno turned to his wife and said, "You're not being a great wife right now. I don't really feel your support for my happiness."
Wow.
Bruno absolutely loved that car. It was the only thing in his life that made him happy. I mean, clearly he loved it more than he loved his wife. He loved the looks that he got when he would show up to practice. He would park in the lot. "Hey, I thought you always rode the bus." Not anymore. The only times Bruno didn't drive his car and took the bus again was because he didn't have gas money. And Diane would not give it to him. But Diane didn't leave because, for one, she was in love with Bruno. I mean, she met Bruno when she was 12. Bruno was 14. They were childhood best friends. They didn't get married until she was 18 and he was 20. But still, this is her childhood sweetheart. They grew up together. She loved him.
Fucking.
But also because it was kind of an investment. he's gonna be a pro athlete. I mean, she didn't marry him because of that. She loved him, but she was very excited for him to contribute one day to the family as well. Because for years, all she's doing is contributing. At this point, the couple had their first daughter already. They would have another one, and Diane is living like a single mom. Bruno would go off to practice. Diane would be in charge of childcare, but also making sure that there's food in the pantry, making sure that they had leftover money every month for diapers. Bruno would not even lift a finger. She was paying for everything: house bills, everyone's food, clothes, transportation, gas money. I mean, one of her jobs, she would write essays for students in the local college. $2 per essay. She would spend all day doing as many as 10 essays. And at the time, all of them needed to be turned in handwritten, not on a computer. And they're all on the same subject, so she would need to come up with a different perspective each time and then switch up the handwriting so that the professors wouldn't suspect anything, and she would still have a job. And because soccer players and most pro athletes are required to have balanced diets, I couldn't find exact stats on non-pros, just training in soccer, but one club in Germany stated that every week the team goes through 66 pounds of grass-fed meat, 44 pounds of wild-caught fish, 15 liters of milk, 18 pounds of yogurt, and around 180 eggs, all organic. Obviously, Diane can't afford that. But she does home cook every single one of his meals, spent all of her extra money on getting high quality vegetables, proteins, and grains because Bruno uses his body for work. And in return, he promised her, babe, I'm gonna play in the World Cup one day. The prize money rewarded to the winning team of the World Cup at the time would be anywhere between $30 to $35 million to be split amongst the team. And I think athletes are chasing a high, if you will. They call it the zone. A lot of them talk about it, and they say they can't even quite put into words what it feels like. The feeling is very hard to grasp, they say. And there's levels to it. Like, I know for me, I'm like, yeah, I've been in the zone. It's a state of flow. But I'm sure for pro athletes, it's a whole nother level. Like, we're not talking about the same zone. Being on the soccer field, they describe it as it doesn't happen each time. Even if you're a pro, you're not in the zone for every game. You're not even in the zone once in every game. It happens once a blue moon, and when it happens, there's just no words to describe. You're locked in. There's only a small group of people that state that this is the true zone. Everything else is just hyper-focused. The zone, you don't hear or see anything else but the game. The ball, it's like hyper-fixated. Your eyes are fixated on it. It's almost, you lose connection with your body in a sense. You're moving and you're doing all the right things, but it's almost muscle memory. It's not even, it's not intentional. You lose feeling of your thirstiness, what body part aches, that sore ankle that you have, that injury that you're pushing. You lose all of that. You are completely unaffected by the environment. It's like your brain is floating and your body is just a vehicle. That's the zone that Bruno needs to get into right now, standing on the green grass in front of the goalie net, because this is the playoff games that decides who is going to be elected to be on the Brazil's national team for the World Cup. So Brazil's got a bunch of different soccer clubs, and they're looking for the best of the best to fill their national team. As the goalie and the captain of the Flamengo team, which is one of the top 3 teams in Brazil. Okay, top 4, some people say. They've got like 40 million fans. This is not like a small little soccer club. This is a massive.
You say he's the captain?
Yeah.
Wow, so he's a big deal.
Big deal.
He made it.
He made it, yeah.
Wow.
So Bruno, I mean, he made it, but when you go to the World Cup, you make it internationally. A lot of people say that a huge goal is, and I don't want to say this is for everyone, this is what our researchers told us, and one of them actually resides in Brazil, and she said that when you make the Brazil national team, you attend the World Cups, something of that caliber, then the next big step would be signing to a European team. Because, not because they're any better or any sort of, uppityness about it, but European teams get a lot of that celebrity press. And once you become that celebrity soccer player, the brand ambassadorships, that's where the money is.
I see. That's a natural progression.
Yes. So he's made it, but he's looking at a bigger goal. And this game was the make it or break it. If he could win this game, he could be part of the World Cup. He knew what people were saying. I mean, despite all of the scandals going on, that one girl, gold digger girl, that was talking about this weird kidnapping hoax, whatever, right? It was a little bit of a bump in the road, but he still had a chance at this. He's still on the team. He's still allowed to play. Everybody's rooting for him. They're screaming his name because at the end of the day, they don't care what Bruno does in his private life. As long as he brings home that World Cup title, that's all that matters. Bruno's eyes are fixated on the ball. He just has to make sure it doesn't get past him and into the net. Don't let anything or anyone pass him. That's it. But it's really not that easy to focus on the game when back at home, you've got someone locked up and held hostage. Bruno was told as a kid there's only 3 ways for him to get out of poverty: become a singer, become a drug dealer, or a soccer player. The minute Bruno stepped out onto the field as a kid, everyone's like, yeah, no, you're not going to make it. He's tall, which goalkeepers are usually the tallest on the team because they need to be able to reach up and block the balls, but he's kind of spaghetti noodle tall, in the sense that he was very thin to the point that people thought he looked frail. Like the wind would blow and he would lose balance. But he was good. There was no denying it. I mean, a country of kids who think that they will be the next soccer prodigy, he had something. He just did whatever it took to try and focus on soccer. Sometimes he would have to walk to practice because he couldn't even afford a bus ticket when he was a kid, which at the time, the ticket would have been like 20 cents. He would have been the only kid in practice that didn't have food. He didn't have any food from home to bring. His teammates would ask, hey, are you not eating? Are you not hungry? And he would sit there next to him, drenched in sweat, and say, yeah, not hungry. There was just no way. I mean, they've been running around in the hot sun for hours. He's starving. They're all starving. So these kids, they would look down, break off a piece of their sandwich, and give it to Bruno. Maybe they kind of felt bad for the guy. I mean, Bruno did have a bit of a strange upbringing. He was raised by his grandma, Estella, and because when Bruno was 3 days old, not 3 years old, 3 days old, fresh out of the hospital, his 2 parents, they look at each other and they're like, okay, let's just eeny, meeny, moe this. Okay, they didn't actually say that. They might as well have. They just decided to pick one brother, one of their kids, one of their sons to take, and leave the other one with grandma. They did not take Bruno. It said that his parents only came back into his life once he was a pro soccer player, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But that's not the only people either in his life. It said that a lot of Bruno's relationships in life changed once he became a pro soccer player. He started hating his wife Diane, the one who supported him since they were like 12 and 14. He felt like, you don't look like a soccer player's wife. You don't look like a pro athlete wife. So he starts very publicly cheating on her. Most athletes, they might at least try to hide it because at the end of the day, they're public figures. But Bruno, he would just invite his girlfriends to the games to sit front row. To take them out to restaurants to eat, regardless of if paparazzi or any of these people were going to show up or not. He would bring them to his marital home. Some of them stayed in the house long term if Diane was at a different home. Or if Diane was around and upset, he would fulfill his husbandly duty and bring his girlfriends to a hotel instead and stay there with them. After months of this, Bruno would sit down and he would have these very dramatic moments, melodramatic moments, where he would think to himself, my life is so hard as a soccer player. Pro athlete, everyone wants to praise me, love me, be my friend, date me because I'm rich and famous. He just wished that there was someone who wasn't with him for the money. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, Diane. And then he would just run back to her and promise that he would never cheat on her again. And he wouldn't for the rest of the day. Bruno also believed punching his wife was a normal thing. At one of these parties, so the soccer players were allegedly known to throw group activity parties. Yeah, where a bunch of adults would come, the pro athletes would be there, they would invite a bunch of women and they would all kind of pile on each other. They're at one of these parties when they hear this really loud crashing noise outside, kind of like a car accident. But then it happens again, and it's like boom. And now the people at the party, they're like scrambling to put on their clothes, run outside, see what the commotion's about. And they see this woman, completely red in the face, bat in her hand, swinging at one of the soccer players' cars. Bruno runs outside and is trying to talk to this woman. It's one of the other players' wives, but she's screaming at him. She's not listening. She knows that her husband is in there cheating on her. The situation escalates to the point where she finds Bruno's car, and she's got the bat in her hand, and she's ready to swing on Bruno's car now. So he runs over, and he's like, not my car, you won't. He's up in her face, basically begging her to do something to his car. It's giving, try me. The other partygoers rush out, try to defuse the situation, and eventually, the woman's husband, Adriano, the other teammate, rushes out, grabs his wife, picks her up, throws her over his shoulder in front of everybody, and ends up tying her to a tree. Just leaving her there. The whole incident became a major scandal for the soccer club. I mean, reporters even went to Bruno to ask him about the whole woman tied to the tree situation, and he just stared at the journalist, Bruno, and he said, well, who here is married and hasn't once had a fight with their wife or even threw some punches? No one should judge or meddle in a married couple's fights. It's not your place. Somehow, this did not end his career. Diane gave birth to 2 girls during her marriage with Bruno. Not even a year after giving birth to their second child, probably still in the midst of postpartum, just finally feeling a little bit normal, Diane was going to celebrate her birthday. She's at home, notices Bruno's phone on the kitchen counter, and ding, a text message comes in. She walks over, it's from a woman named Ingrid, and she's asking, what time will you be home? Diane's thinking, home? Like, that's a really bizarre text to get. She grabs his phone, shoves it in his face. What is this? Shameless Bruno just straight up admits, oh yeah, I've been living with another woman. Her name is Ingrid, and I mean, I'm not gonna make any excuses, like all the times that I said that I was out doing other things at practice. No, I was at this woman's house. And by the way, we're engaged. He's still married to Diane, but he proposed to a woman named Ingrid. Diane packed her bags and went to go stay at his ranch house. She was done with Bruno. In the romantic sense, I mean, the 2 of them would actually stay very close, and they were not legally divorcing anytime soon. But Bruno was very happy with his new single status, and so was Maka, aka Macaroni. That's his nickname, literally. That's the translation. So Maka was more than excited to be the only constant in Bruno's life. Maka has been part of Bruno's entourage since they were wee little trainees, way before they were pro athletes. Maka is Bruno's childhood best friend. They go way back, further than even Diane. Maka's a strange guy, though. A lot of people said he almost got too protective over Bruno. Like, he was that protective friend that looked jealous or annoyed if Bruno ever had other friends joking with him. Like, he'd be like, what's so funny? What's the inside joke? Why don't I know? Friends said, yeah, Maka would die and kill for Bruno. It's a little weird. He even got a branding of sorts for Bruno. Okay, it's not a branding, but it's basically a tattoo on his back that reads, Bruno and Maka, the friendship that not even time will destroy. True love.
What do you mean? Like, in the word, just exactly verbatim?
Verbatim. Bruno and Maka, the friendship that not even time will destroy. True love. Yeah, would you get that for your friend?
That's weird.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Before Bruno was a pro athlete, Maka was married and had children of his own, so he had his own family priorities, but he would still secretly support Bruno by giving him a portion of his pay every single month. The only other person that might compete for Bruno's attention was his nephew, Jay. Jay was 17 years old. He was hiding out in Bruno's house. Jay had been a part of a drug trafficking gang, and his main job was a transporter, so he would move drugs around. A bus driver for narcotics, if you will. Well, he lost a load, okay? The drug gang is trying to kill him, so he's hiding out in Bruno's house. He owes Bruno for taking him in while drug gangs are out for him. So Jay's willing to do just about anything to repay him for his great gratitude that he feels. Jay's like, you want me to wash your car? I'll wash your car. You want me to run errands? I'll go do it right now. Whatever Bruno wants, Jay's gonna do it. Since we're talking about Bruno's inner circle, there's also Sergio. He's not really part of the main inner circle, but he is Bruno's cousin. So we've got Maka, the childhood best friend with the tattoo, Jay, the minor nephew, and Sergio, the cousin that's kind of in and out of the circle. They are all Bruno's yes men, and getting him into the World Cup is not just Bruno's big day. They're thinking this is our big day. All our work for Bruno, all of the running his dirty errands, cleaning up after him, lying for him, covering for him, it's gonna pay off when he gets to the World Cup.
What year was this?
He was practicing for the 2012 World Cup. Yes. But they lost that game.
He didn't get picked?
No. Bruno had no chance in the World Cup. Not that he would either way, because he'd be in prison. Right after the game that he lost, Bruno called his friend and said, I need a BMW, but I need it to be bulletproof and have no GPS tracker. It is an odd request. There's almost never a dull moment at this house. I mean, my house is like the unofficial hangout spot for my entire family. So I wanted to feel as welcoming and as comfortable as possible. We always make sure that the pantry is stocked. We always have a place ready in case that someone needs to sleep over. But most importantly, my house is a place where I try to make sure that all my family members feel safe, thanks to our Simply Safe home security. Simply Safe is the whole package in terms of home protection. They equip your house with HD outdoor and indoor cameras. Sophisticated motion sensors are set up on doors, windows, and rooms. For less than $1 a day, you can even get around-the-clock 24/7 professional home monitoring for fast emergency responses. Usually when we think of home safety, we think of burglaries or home invasions, but the truth is a lot of things can endanger your home. Leaving your heater a little too close to the curtains, forgetting to turn off the stove after dinner, or recently I saw a bunch of TikTok videos of batteries for electronic bikes and camera batteries, like lithium batteries, blowing up while being charged, or like the LED lights that for some reason were catching fire. I don't know the odds of that, but it does keep me up at night. Or maybe your area has a high risk of flooding. There are so many things that put our safety at risk on a daily basis that we might not even be aware of. It's enough for just one small thing to go wrong to have devastating consequences. I used to have insomnia because of these types of thoughts. I sleep a little bit better knowing that Simply Safe has equipped my home with sensors that detect fire, flooding, and more. Listen, I don't know anything about engineering, but I trust Simply Safe because the experts trust Simply Safe, and it's been so easy to use. It was named Best Home Security Systems of 2024 by U.S. News and World Report. I mean, that honestly makes me feel really safe. Simply Safe's home security system is super easy to set up by yourself without any special tools needed, but if you don't have time to do it yourself, or you just want to be extra sure that it's done properly, then one of Simply Safe's expert technicians will install it for you. Safety is priceless, but there's really nothing to lose here. If you're unsatisfied with Simply Safe, they have a 60-day return policy. They'll give you a full refund and even cover return shipping. You and your loved ones deserve to feel safe in your home. Order now to get 20% off any new Simply Safe system with Fast Protect monitoring. Don't wait. Visit simplysafe.com/Rodson. That's simplysafe.com/Rodson. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Recently, there was that whole trend on girl math about how if you buy something and then you return it, you actually make money. Or if you purchase something in cash, then it's free. I'm going to introduce you to my favorite version of girl math. And I will admit, the math here, it definitely checks out. And it is Rakuten. My sister actually introduced me to Rakuten way back when it was known as Ebates. And she said, you know, Stephanie, there's this website where you get cash back anytime that you make a purchase online. It is free to use. And I was like, that doesn't even make sense. Why would they do that? Is that even legal? This was way back before I knew what cashback meant. I just knew that saving money while I'm spending money was kind of a mind-blowing concept. And now, after years, I have easily saved thousands of dollars thanks to Rakuten. When I started using Rakuten, they were only compatible with a few hundred online stores, but today you can get cash back on over 3,500 stores. You can see the full list of stores on Rakuten's website, but truly, you can shop for anything on Rakuten. I get cash back on all of my makeup and skincare if I shop at Sephora or Ulta. You can use Rakuten for clothes at Nordstrom, Net-a-Porter, Free People, Mango, Urban Outfitters, Uniqlo. I mean, you name it. You can even finally buy a Dyson and get cash back through Rakuten. It's not even girl math because you are actually saving a lot of money. It's kind of insane, but Rakuten has 17 million members and they've earned over $4.6 billion in cash back. And the cash back stacks on top top of existing deals like other season discounts. I never shop without Rakuten because you're just leaving free cash back on the table. For the things that you're already purchasing, it just doesn't make sense. Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop, and also the easiest. Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. Get cash back at over 3,500 stores across every single category, including fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, and so much more. Cashback rates change daily. Start all your shopping at Rakuten.com or get the Rakuten app to start saving today. Your cashback really adds up. Elisa wasn't allowed to talk to her mom growing up. Her dad wouldn't let her, which is strange considering her dad never wanted her in the first place. That's what's said. When Elisa's mom, Sonia, was pregnant with Elisa, she was so excited to tell her husband, Luis, like, we're going to be parents now. He beat her and demanded she terminate. Sonia did not, and Elisa was born. And because Sonia couldn't afford to take care of her alone, in this most sad and twisted turn of events, Elisa ends up living with her dad instead of her mom, and he wouldn't even let them see each other. That, coupled with the poverty, the allegations that Elisa was envied by her father and, quote, sold to his friends to be used, I don't think anyone would have blamed Elisa for being very angry at her circumstances. But she wasn't. Maybe Elisa felt like, against all odds, she was born and she survived because her mom did not terminate. And maybe the same